What's going on, everyone? This is Michael Stewart-Isaacs.
And this is Shemekka Ebony.
And this is your next edition of Sunday Stacks. Yes, Sunday Stacks is back for another exciting episode. And this one, as always, will not disappoint. And as always with Sunday Stacks, we always like to start with a topic. So this one we're going to keep pretty simple. Thanksgiving recap. Yes. For those here in America, we had the holiday of Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is a time that, yes, you prepare for Thanksgiving, but it really never starts until you actually get involved with your family. The gathering starts to begin. And that's where all this Thanksgiving love and fun and seeing people you hadn't seen in a while. And this wasn't anything different from ourselves as well as you all, but we're doing a Thanksgiving recap. I'm thankful first and foremost for this program, Sunday Stacks. I'm thankful for all of you who would like to like and subscribe so you can keep this channel going. Please tell a friend to tell a friend and share. But yes, Thanksgiving for me as a tradition, as a holiday here in the U.S., it was actually really fun. It's always something I look forward to, seeing my family and getting some of that good food. What is it that you like about Thanksgiving, Miss Shemekka?
I like the frequency that it produces of gratitude and thankfulness, and there's also balances of grief and I guess heartache during this season too. But it's also this moment that we get to, in some cases, our friends and family, however that shows up and looks like for you. You find a reason to have Sunday dinner and find excuses to get more than one plate. So it's always a good time.
Yes, and the gathering is fun. And then also, too, it always seems to be a time where your friends that you haven't spoke to in a while and everyone decides they want to pop up and say hello. It's just like another birthday of sorts that we all get just to kind of celebrate one another and grow. This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful because, it was a unique kind of way Thanksgiving started for me. So here I am waiting for my family to come into town. They have a long road trip. And I'm waiting, especially to see my mother. You know how it is to see your mother on the holiday, especially if you don't get to see her all the time throughout the year. And so all of a sudden, on that evening before Thanksgiving, I get a call that my baby girl is in the hospital. Yes, I said it. My baby girl. Oh, man, for any man out there that got a baby girl, you get that call that your baby girl in the hospital. You're like, what is going on? And then she come to tell me that she ended up getting a concussion. Why? Because my little girl's a wrestler. Yes, the day before Thanksgiving, she was at her wrestling match, taking on what I guess was a fierce opponent. And apparently this opponent decided that they wanted to grab my baby once and slam her on her head. And then not even giving her a chance to gather herself, want to go slam her again. And so that didn't give her the chance to recoup like she wanted to. Ended up in a concussion. And I'm getting the call the day before Thanksgiving.
Let's be clear, just for the listeners, so that they don't feel your language as in wrestling as a sport. Your language of slammed on her head is not a technical term, so we want to make sure we put out that disclosure.
Yes. Well, we know
it was a professional match. Allie just has a great opportunity to learn some new skills and techniques, but it happens to the best of us. Yes. 25 years ago, I was wrestling boys, and I remember my first slam, but it was a gentle slam. I would have rather he just dropped me in the air for me to keep my pride, but this gentleman, slow motion, it felt like a long, slow fall down to put me on the mat so that he wouldn't hurt me. And that was more disrespectful to me than anything else.
Oh, wow. So, I get it. He was trying to take his time. And yes, let's not remiss that. Speaking of wrestling, we do have a female wrestling, royalty in our family with Shemekka.
Yeah, so I'm super proud to see her out on the mat.
Yeah, so to have our daughter out here wrestling and giving it a shot, but then also having this moment, particularly right before Thanksgiving, where it's like, oh my goodness, my kid just got slammed to the point where they believe she has a concussion. And it did come back that she did, but she's been resting and she's doing well, for anyone out there that might be wondering, well, what happened? But those are the things that I'm bringing up because I was thankful on Thanksgiving for not just a turkey, not just some food, not just because my mom got here safely, but that my baby girl was recovering and okay from doing something she loves and she was passionate about. but she also could have found herself hurt. So it was just another perspective, because sometimes you can get ready for the actual holiday itself, and then all of a sudden, poof, something happens,
right?
and it's some emergency, and like, wow. So I'm just thankful that she's okay. I'm thankful for family and their safe travels and journeys, just the time spent. I got to see my nieces and my different cousins and so many different people, and my family cooks so good, y'all. I know we all got that out there. We love mama home cooking. Your auntie did it right. Everybody do the stuffing, somebody do the turkey, but we had that same going in our family. It's a little unique. Because my family, now for those out there, our listeners in other countries, is African, as well as on my dad's side of Jamaican, but we was with my African family. So Thanksgiving is always unique with my African kin, in regards to this being something we've adapted as a culture for us first generations here in the U.S., to kind of celebrate Thanksgiving. So it comes with the American dishes. And then there got to be some African food, your jello rices and stews and everything, all of that, right? So it becomes something different, So it was really fun and just really joyful to have this kind of Thanksgiving celebration with family. Shemekka spent time with us. We try to reach out to her family because they're amazing. We try to get as much of our family together as possible, or at least just reach out to everyone, even the friends out there. If we did not get a chance to say Happy Thanksgiving on a day of, or you didn't get a text from us, Happy Thanksgiving to you. Because why? Every day, especially here at Sunday Stacks, is a Thanksgiving that we can all enjoy. Right?
Yes, give thanks every day.
Yeah, so with that, I want to give a quick shout out to a situation where a mentor of mine this past week has passed away. It's a gentleman by the name of Dr. James West, or to some, Commissioner James West. You may know him from Wake County, North Carolina, or Raleigh, North Carolina, my hometown that I grew up in. And, he passed away this past week, and it was something that hit myself in a certain way, because this is a mentor of mine who I watched a career well done. Someone who I watched as a young man in church. We went to the same church in my youth, as well as watching him, navigate from being a deacon in the church to being, active in the political scene, city council, to being a commissioner of the county, and just kind of modeling the right way of treating your family and your wife, and just so many different good advice over the years that I was able to get from this gentleman. So I just want to give a quick shout out for those of our listeners here in our local market of North Carolina. We did lose a great pioneer and a true legend, and sometimes we got to say their names because we don't want these greats to be forgotten, as we all are so busy, and new greats are being made every day. We got to remember the ones who set the foundation. So I just wanted to put that on record to honor this man who's just shown so much in example. So
yes, we're grateful we got a chance to spend some time and capture him in the I Am Brilliant campaign as well. So definitely grateful for the impact that he's left here, and what a great mantle to pick up. So as we are experiencing this grief and loss during this holiday time, I believe the greatest gift that you could give Dr. West is to continue the work.
That's it. I love it. And we definitely love to continue the work of the FCC here at Sunday Stacks, which is family, community, and company. We want to keep your mindset right. Make sure that you know that you are empowered here. This is a free space. As we reflect and recap all the things that we go through, let's turn and pivot a little bit to the other parts that happened after Thanksgiving this week, which was amazing. We had a chance here in the great city of Raleigh to go to a phenomenal Paint and Sip, hosted by one of our dear friends. Do you want to talk a little bit about this Paint and Sip joyful event we had?
Yeah, it was a great event hosted by Natasha Pankova Paint Series. She is a native of Kinston, and I'm always glad to support. She had a couples paint night, so my priority was having a chance to get out and play with my husband. So we did that, and we went out and did that.
Yes, and I think that was beautiful in regards to just being able to get together and just the theming of it. Couples night out painting, but not only did we just paint, the theme that we chose was magical. So if you follow us on any of our social media, this is the best place to visualize some of these things that we doing. But if you know anything about me, I talk about something called cycles, right? And a few years ago, me and this lovely lady went to the great city of Paris, And particularly in this night, we had a theme in our paint and sip of being able to paint in the beautiful city or the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And it was just a wonderful kind of take on just having this freedom of painting. Fellas, I'm just kind of encouraging you all, if you're trying to figure out what you can do with your lady, do something romantic, do something different. This paint and sip thing is pretty cool. If I got to put my little cosign on it, it's something that could really be amazing. And being able to kind of have that reflective moment for us, because we got a chance to paint the Eiffel Tower, it was just beautiful. Because I think if you look at Shemekka's painting, she painted more of a night, kind of image. And then I painted more of a day image. And just to see the details that she put in her paint, amazing. You did that, baby.
Oh,
your painting was amazing. Just
thank you.
Watching the joy in her eyes. Fellas, I'm telling you, if you want to see your lady light up, take her to a paint and sip. Take her to a place where she can just go out there and show you sides of herself that you didn't even know was there in terms of her creativity. And that's what I was able to enjoy. So I really appreciate the opportunity to do something outside of my normal comfort, which is be like watching a Carolina football game, whether we win, lose, or draw. Something like that, is normal. But for what we say as guys, we want to watch our favorite sports team. But sometimes, your lady might give in and give you that time to do what you like doing. But you got to find the things she likes to do. And I'm starting to open myself up, because my wife like to do stuff like paint and sips and kayaking and all these other types of adventurous types of activities or culturally enriching activities. And I have to be more willing to do it, because I always kind of hesitate at first, and then once I do it, I end up really enjoying it. So, I want to kind of give you guys out there some, give yourself a chance to do something different with your lady. That could be romantic, that could be imaginative, and, you'd be surprised what will happen. So, with that being said, we will talk about the next transition. As always, this is time for the Whiz of the Week. And with the Whiz of the Week, we had to take a unique kind of, perspective on this, because there's been a lot of headlines about some of the wrong things. And then sometimes there's headlines about things that you should be aware of, but sometimes you don't find out about it. So we're going to touch on a few different topics here. As we say always, we definitely at Sunday Stacks, we keep on building. We're growing ourselves and all of our different sponsor bases for the show. And take this moment to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors for this. I have QuickBooks. QuickBooks is something that we've been partnered with to help in regards to helping you small businesses out there that are looking for ways to keep track of your books. So definitely check the links in the bio and definitely click on, those to help you find some great discounts on the right QuickBooks software for your business. Now, in regards to the Whiz of the Week, this week we are talking about the topic that should be talked about but isn't talked about. And that is this surge of coups that are happening throughout Africa, particularly in Central Africa and West Africa, right? And the other juxtaposition of what we're going to talk about is this, I guess I want to say, the return of the Me Too movement, or what's happening in New York in regards to the Adult Survivor Act, and what that kind of has created a storm in regards to bringing back this resurgence of the Me Too and people who've been victimized many years ago, who may have not felt like they had enough time, or they may have had some statute of limitations. And now all these different things are coming out. So as we look looking at Africa and talking about the different coups that have been going on throughout the continent in regards to corruption, things that I've heard, especially being an African descent, my whole life, I've always heard people in my family talking about, oh, the government's not this and this and that and third. And it seems to be a lot of armed militias that are stepping out here, and they're now saying, hey, we don't like how government's being run, and we're going to find a way to overtake it. And in particular, I want to bring to light one that happened recently in Sierra Leone, my mother's home country of Sierra Leone, her city of Freetown. There was a moment, Miss Shemekka, where there was an armed militia of military-led people who went in and tried to go to the armory and take some weapons out because they were going to try to overthrow the president. This actually happened this week. I mean, this is crazy, in regards to just the different ways of these countries are being, taken, it's not the people, it tends to be the actual soldiers who are rallying around to try to bring themselves to these different spaces. But now we're, in a position where we're trying to get more people aware of these things that are happening, and why is it happening, and are these soldiers in the right or wrong when they're trying to take back governments that haven't been fair to the people and haven't advanced them, and do they have plans, right? It's so many different questions in regards to these things. It's a unique thing, but we definitely keep our prayers out for those who are seeing these things happen, and hope that it finds its calm direction as something that we need to make sure we put attention to, in today's.
Absolutely.
Yes. So as regards to the return of the Me Too, movement, what's your thoughts on that, Ms. Shemekka?
Well, with this being, it's very unique, because when you can press charges against an individual and the institutions that supported it, that is academic institutions, so professors that were being inappropriate or accused of sexual assault. Not only is that perpetrator identified, but also the employer is also held liable as an institution to have that could be the hotel chain it happened in. It's very unique, I guess, what the parameters are, but with it being a civil case, this is going after money in essence, because this person's not going to jail, this person's not going to have any repercussions criminally, but to have your day in court civilly, with being able to file a lawsuit in this way is wonderful for those that have been holding it in or didn't realize they had been a victim of abuse until later, or until they got to a safer space they feel more comfortable. It's unfortunate there has to be a small window. Sounds like there may be some advocacy around opening it back up, because it is now closed. So those that didn't make that 3,000 cut in New York, right now is currently closed.
Yeah, and so just so many different topics that are being talked about, but some things that aren't being talked about. And, with the Wizard of the Week, we want to shed light on those things that sometimes, it's amazing how the things that could be told to you, and then the things that are major that should be told to you, that could be swept under the rug. And we want to make sure that you all hear it first here at Sunday Stacks, and to keep your eyes open for the things that out there that just don't seem right to you. And, we have to make sure that our moral compasses, those who have things in the closet, those who have wrong people out there, your day is coming in regards to just being, someone's going to call you out and air out the things you thought you had some privileges to do things because you were in a position of power. And now the power structures are changing for people who've been harmed. And we have to be aware of these things and truly make sure that we are keeping our households, our kitchens and everything tight, and making sure morals and humility and other things are, center in how we're conducting ourselves in our world. So with that said, we definitely, want to give any shout outs to any of our sponsors.
Yes, I want to lift up for those females that are in our community, ladies that are leading. We have something coming up for you. I've had an opportunity to partner with Forum as a facilitator. We're going to have peer group support starting in January to kind of help you lead with grace and class and with some energy on reflections and how to renew. That is through the Join Forum platform. If you go to any of my social media, you can look, the link is in the bio. Right underneath the bio section, you'll see where you can click and go and reserve your seat, and that's on Shemekka Ebony on Instagram, as well as Brilliant Bunch on Instagram.
Yes, that is awesome. And I want to give a quick shout out to all of our social media platforms. Please follow us here on YouTube, like and comment and subscribe. We go by I Am Brilliant You Are Too on Instagram and on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. You can follow us to kind of keep up with what we're doing with the I Am Brilliant movement, which is what brings you Sunday Stacks. And we thank all our sponsors, everyone from QuickBooks to Forum, definitely all the descriptions, all the links links will be within the descriptions in regards to how you can connect, as well as follow us on our personal platforms, Shemekka Ebony, as well as at Michael Stewart-Isaacs, and you'll be able to find more information. Again, all the links will be in the description. So as we wrap up, we are thankful for you all listening to this edition of Sunday Stacks. We hope again that you like and comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is only going to get better. The new year is coming, and we're already there with Sunday Stacks. So we're excited about what we're here to share. So as we always say, I am brilliant, and you are too. Thank you very much for listening to this episode, and we'll be back next week.